This is Ashley Nicole, and I'm here with another live. I hope some people are able to join me this evening. Again, like I always say, I don't have a lot of time, right? But I made time today, right, to kind of do this live. Again, my name is Ashley Nicole. Welcome to my channel. I am a licensed mental health counselor as well as a career coach. And I help individuals go from stuck to thriving in their careers, along with helping them navigate and manage work stress, burnout, anxiety in the workplace. And today I'm here with something a little bit different. I wanted to really kind of share with you all some of the books that I've read that have really helped me gain a lot of clarity, helped me to become or gain a little bit more insight. Books that have really helped me on my journey to success, and also a little bit of some of them sprinkled in there have kind of really helped a lot of my clients gain some clarity on their own, and kind of insight into what they're dealing with as well. So I hope they will be able to help you all, right? I'm wondering, like, have you ever read a book? Well, first of all, let me start with this. Anybody that really knows me knows that I'm a bookworm. I love to read. Ever since I was like a little kid, you could probably ask my mom this. Like, I was the kid who always wanted to play school. I used to have my little desk. I used to have, what is the name of this toy? I used to have my desk, and I used to have like my little paper and stuff like this. But then also I had Teddy, I think you pronounce it Teddy Ruskin or Teddy Rupskin, right? Teddy was like one of my students. Right? And then my cousins were my students as well. I always wanted to play school. As I got a little bit older, some of my family members would call me the professor. I just loved school, and I loved reading. So I had a lot of books and things like that. And so there's nothing different about me as an adult, right? I love to read. I'm always learning. Knowledge is a whole thing, right? You have to continue to learn things. Hi, thank you for joining the live. Please like the live. You know, reading kind of helps you really kind of expand your learning, of course, right? And anything new that you want to learn, right, you got to read about it, right? I'm not one of the people who kind of goes by what somebody tells me. You know what I'm saying? I want to really learn it for myself. I need to read it on my own. And so, have you all ever read a book that completely changed the way that you see yourself or the way that you see the world? If so, put the title in the chat. I love to know, because I'm always interested in what other people are reading and things like this, right? But today I'm going to break down 6 books that helped me, helped some of my clients, right? In the span of time that I've been helping clients over the 15 years that I've been licensed, right? Helps my clients, right? That will help you to really take control of your money, right? Your mindset, boundaries, healing, and success. So if this is something that you are interested in, put it in the chat. Let's see. All right. Okay. Okay, so let's kind of start with this. Why do books even really matter? You know what I mean? I don't even know why this would be a question, but let's like talk about it, right? And if you see me looking down, I have my notes because I absolutely cannot remember everything. I have, you know, I'm a note person. I'm like a list person, you know, that's me. I have it all written down, right? One book can really kind of make the difference in you staying stuck or leveling up when it comes to all areas of your life. When you think about work, when you think about in a relationship, when you think about parenting, right? A book can really kind of change your perspective on these things, right? And so some of the must reads when it comes to like different topics, in my opinion, when it comes to books, right, is things about money, your mental health, right, and the mindset. These are kind of like the three areas where I feel like when it comes to like wellness, if this is where you want to start, right, these are the three areas where you might want to start. I always also kind of recommend starting with easy reads, you know what I mean? Especially if you're a person who gets bored easily, things like this, right? Okay, so let's get right into it. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we waiting for? Okay, so the first book, and I have the books here too, so that everybody can kind of see who the author is and all this stuff if you want to go get it. Oh, here's a tip. Hi, everybody that's joining the live. Please like the live. Hi, Pure. Hi, Pure Intentions. Thank you for joining. Yes, so usually with my clients, if I recommend a book, right, I always kind of recommend to go on Google first to see if you could find it. There are a lot of sites who post different books, right, the PDFs of different books and things of that nature. They also post snippets of different sections in the book that might be most highlighted, or just different points that are of importance to different people, or groups of people that have read the book. So start there first, and then if you can't find it, I recommend that, of course, you go, you can get it, in wherever you buy your books, right? Okay, so the first one is, I know, Pure, I know, thank you. The first one is called The Psychology of Money. Can everybody see that? I don't know if it's backwards. I don't know, but The Psychology of Money. This is a good one. I'll kind of share about myself first, like reasons why I got the books. Not too much detail, child, but just a little bit, right? In me being, I'm not sure if everyone kind of knows my story, but with me being a licensed mental health counselor, I worked in corporate America for a long time, and got to the point where I started my own practice. So I do have my own private practice, right? And of course, like a lot of us, I knew, about money and all of these things, but it's like I really wasn't good back then at managing it. You know what I mean? I had some coming in, but I may not have been managing it well. And so I knew that if I was going to start my own private practice, that I needed to learn how to do it, right? But I couldn't really go right away into books about, how do I manage the money and all of these things, and listening to podcasts and looking at all the videos. I had to understand what my relationship was with it. And this is the book that's going to help you do that, right? Right? It helps you to understand your relationship with money, right? Money isn't just about numbers, right? It's about emotions. It's about your habits. It's about your mindset, right? And so some of the takeaways with the psychology of money is that when you talk about wealth, right? Wealth isn't really much about how you earn. It's about, or what you earn. It's about what you keep, right? And so the mindset kind of shifts to that, right? Making sure that you know where every dollar is going, why it's going there. You know what I mean? Like all of those things, right? And the second takeaway about that book is that people make financial decisions based on their emotions and not the logic, right? And this happens for people every day, just regular decision making, right? A lot of the times the clients, a lot of clients that I work with, they come to me because they have made decisions based on how they feel instead of really what it is. So kind of shifting the mindset to, right, yes, I feel like that, and that's okay, right? My feelings are valid, but what is really happening here? I need to allow the logic to lead my decisions instead of how I feel, right? Right. So that's the second takeaway from that book. The third one is the goal is not to be rich. The goal is for you to have freedom. Right? Anybody that wants freedom in their lives, in whatever area it is, let me know in the chat. I knew this is when I worked in corporate, this was like in the back of my mind, like, why do I have to be at a place at a certain time every day? I mean, yeah, maybe, but why somebody gotta tell me to be there? I got to a point where I was like, I don't like that. Don't tell me to be at work at 8 a.m. I don't like that. That was probably another factor or another like little tidbit or something that told me, girl, you need to work for yourself because you ain't with it. I just couldn't get with it anymore, right? But yes, the goal is not to be rich. It's for you to have freedom, right? And so money is just a tool. You know what I mean? It's really not, it's not this whole big thing, right? In the grand scheme of things, and this is just my opinion, right? Really, it means nothing, really. And how do we know that? When we look at things that are happening in the world, things, you know, the fires in California, all of these things, right? Money can be gone just like that. You can be in a situation where you can't reach your money just like that. Right? So it really means nothing in the grand scheme of things, right? But it allows you the freedom to do all of the things that you want or need to do, right? So in the chat, if anybody wants to share, what's one money lesson you wish you learned earlier, right? Like, what's one money lesson maybe as a kid or like a teenager or when you got your first job or something like this that you wish someone told you, if you care to share? Okay, so that's the first one, The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This is a good one. Okay, so number 2, this is a good one, I'm telling y'all. This is a good one because everybody needs to read. I kind of look at the next one as sometimes like a reference book because you may not need to read the whole thing. There are different sections of this book about different areas of your life. And some of you have probably heard of it before, but this book is called Drama Free. This book is called Drama Free by Nedra Glover. I don't want to mispronounce the last name, but you all can see that, right? She was, the author of this book was on The Breakfast Club, I believe, one time. I don't know if she was talking about this book because she has several books or a couple books. But this book is about boundaries, baby. Everybody need to read this, right? And it's a good one because, right, okay, this is called Drama Free, A Guide to Managing Unhealthy Family Relationships. This is a good book, y'all, right? Okay, so the reason why I say it's like a reference book is because it's in different parts, right? So it kind of talks to you about, you know, the dysfunction in families, unlearning the dysfunction, right? Healing and growing when it comes to those things. It's a really, really good one. I've highlighted a lot of things throughout the book, right? So this is good, right? Why is this book so powerful? It helps you to set boundaries with toxic family dynamics. And a lot of people come from toxic family behaviors, you know what I mean? A lot of people have learned toxicity from their families. right? I don't know if she's from Atlanta. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have to look that up. Maybe. It doesn't, of course it wouldn't, I don't think it says it here, but yes, a lot of people learn these toxic behaviors. Of course, all these things start in our childhood, whether we want to believe it or not. You know what I mean? So, right? It teaches you about how to help you set the boundaries with toxic family members, but then also it teaches you how to protect your peace, which is so important. I don't know about anybody else, but the older I get, baby, don't mess with my peace. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to be bothered with the foolishness, okay? Right? And so it teaches you how to protect your peace and not to feel guilty about it. Because a lot of times, some people, some of the clients that I've seen over the years, it gets to that point where they are not comfortable with setting boundaries with family members because the guilt comes into play, right? Because what does society teach us? The society teaches us that even though our family treats us negatively, or even if we have toxic family members, even if there is dysfunction in the family, we still give to them. We still are kind. We still are caring. We still come around. Why? Because it's your family. And it don't have to be. It don't have to be. You can protect your peace without guilt, right? And so this is a good one to get, right? If you need some assistance with that. So some of the key takeaways from this book is, again, just because it's family doesn't mean you have to tolerate dysfunction, right? You can love people from a distance. That's a whole thing, right? And boundaries are acts of self-respect, self-love, right? And not punishment. So this is a really good book, you guys. Okay. Put your hand up in the chat if you've ever struggled with family boundaries. A lot of the people that I see, sometimes when you really kind of get down to the root of things, it's like, this is really where it's at. And some people don't even really realize that the family is toxic. People just like, oh yeah, this is just what we do. And it's like, girl, what? Okay, let's talk about that. Let's dive into that a little bit more, because no, this should not be happening. You know what I mean? Right? Especially if it leads to those negative feelings, especially if you kind of now look into your adulthood, right? And you say, okay, look at my relationships now, right? It's similar, right, to the ones that I saw. And you're trying to figure out why, right? All right. Okay, so now the next one is, oh my gosh, guys. The next one, I would say this book should really be read in conjunction with therapy, because it really goes into a lot of hurt, like deep hurts when it comes to certain relationships in the family. And so this book, and I'm wondering, please let me know in the chat if you've heard of this book or if you've read this book. It's called Mother Hunger. Mother Hunger. This book is a powerful book. If you have a difficult relationship with your mom, right? If you are someone who finds it difficult to communicate with your mom, if there is a strained relationship with your mother, right? This is a book to help you learn more about it, right? And to understand it. But again, I do recommend that this book is read in conjunction with therapy, because you are going to need to talk to someone, you know, when you're reading this book. So Mother Hunger by Kelly McDaniel: How Adult Daughters Can Understand and Heal from Lost Nurturance, Protection, and Guidance. And there's so many people, so many daughters that are walking around who didn't get those things from their mom. And it plays out every day in your life. It plays out every day, right? Okay, so why is this book so powerful, right? Again, it unpacks the deep impact of your unmet childhood emotional needs, right? And sometimes, you know, let me say this. Parents only parent the way they were parented. They don't know most times that they're doing these things. They're only doing them because this is what they were taught to do. You know, there's no, and then there's no book when it comes to parenting. You're really kind of learning as you go. You know what I mean? And so you don't really realize, right? A lot of parents don't realize how it's really affecting the child until they get older. If, you know, the adult child comes to say, oh, you know, I was impacted by this or that or what have you, giving their perspective when it comes to their upbringing, right? But it kind of unpacks all of that. And it helps you understand the patterns in relationships, but more importantly, like moving forward as an adult, right? Really touching in on your self-worth, right? Because you were missing these things. So this book, though, is a very easy read. This book is very practical. It actually gives you things that you can do to heal from this emotional trauma from mom, right? And even though, like, for some people, you know, it doesn't negate what mom did, you know, or how, not what mom did, but how mom parented, but it helps you to understand. And when there's understanding, right, now you're able to empathize, right? It doesn't take it away, but it's like I can empathize and understand where it came from, how we kind of got to this point, right? And so this book really kind of helps you to move forward, right? So some key takeaways: emotional neglect is just as damaging as physical neglect, guys. Maybe even more so, because it stays here, and as an adult it will impact all areas of your life, right? The closest relationship you could have is with your mom, especially, you know, as a little girl, right? Moms teach us what? Moms teach us how to actually be in this world, right? How to show up, how to dress, right? How to take care of ourselves, how to communicate with other people, how to deal with challenges in our lives, right? And so the way that you show up now as an adult is how your mom taught you. You know what I mean? And so it's something to think about, right? Okay, the second takeaway from the book is many struggles with self-esteem, love, and attachment, of course, come from these early wounds in your childhood. Not receiving the nurturance, not receiving the protection or the guidance from mom. You know, a lot of people talk about the importance of dads, you know, being in the home. And of course, it's definitely important. There's a different perspective or a different space of nurturance or learning from dad about certain things, right? But the mental health of the child really, in my opinion, kind of depends on the mom's mental health, right? It's like, okay, when you think about this, just like in everyday life, for those of you, and let me know in the chat, for people who have children, I have children, right? And so for people who have kids, it's like mom is the temperature gauge of the house. You know what I'm saying? If I wake up and I have not, you know, I didn't have a good night's rest, you know, maybe I'm not in a good mood or something like this, or, you know, I'm just like blah, you know what I mean? It's going to reflect in the house, right? To how my children wake up, to how they go to school that morning. You know, it's going to impact their whole day, right? How my mental health was that morning. You see what I'm saying? Right? And miraculously, if I wake up on the right side of the bed, if I'm in a great mood, I'm excited about the day, I've done my meditation, XYZ 1, 2, 3, miraculously, everything is going to go well, right? The kids are going to eat all of their breakfast. Everybody's out of the house on time. You know, there's hugs and kisses and all of these things, right? There was no issues at school today. You know, all of these things simply because I was the temperature gauge of the house that morning. You see what I'm saying? Right? And so these are these early wounds that are talked about in this book. If that was happening on a consistent basis where mom's mood was not good, she was not feeling well, there was no joy in the home, it's going to reflect on you throughout your life, right? And the third takeaway is healing means reparenting yourself and seeking healthy connections. So this is why I like the book. At the end of it, it really talks about some things that you can do to reparent yourself, which is very important. A lot of times, you know, when people go to therapy, it's because they have to reparent, you know, the little 9-year-old, the little 16-year-old, you know what I mean? The 5-year-old, instead of starting, you know, as an adult. So good read, good read. All right. Okay, so let's see. Is this book number? Yes, book number 4. Okay, this is a great one too. All of these books, guys, I have read. I've read all these books. Okay, so the next one is called, this is number 4, The 5 a.m. Club. Y'all, baby, you want to change your life? Do you want to change your life? Okay, if you want to change your life, this is the book, okay? This is the book, right? The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Own your morning, elevate your life. This book, this is one of the books. This one, and okay, I'll say that later. But this is the one that's at the top of my list. I love this book. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This book is boring as I don't know what in the beginning. In the beginning, I was like, Robin, get to it. I can't. It's too boring. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, what's going on here? It's kind of like in the beginning, you kind of can sense where it's going. But it's not, you know, like an exciting, the book starts with like it's kind of like it's a story. The book is a story. And so what this book does, it shows how an intentional morning routine changes everything. And it is so true. You know, when you talk about wealth, when you talk about, you know, millionaire mindset, getting to $1 million, all of these things, it starts with all of these habits. And if you read about people who are in that space, right, who are millionaires, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's some things that they all do. There's a pattern. And one of the patterns is that they all get up early. And I'm not talking 7 a.m. You know, I'm talking before the sun rises. And this is what the 5 a.m. Club is about, right? 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. is like a period of power in a way, right? Think about it. You're up before everyone in the house is up, right? It gives you really time to have a little bit of clarity, a little bit of meditation time to yourself. It really helps you to focus on you. You know what I mean? Right? So why is this book so powerful? Right? Again, your morning routine will change everything when it comes to your mindset and success. Right? Right? And it helps you to build. Here's a big one. You know, sometimes this is what we lack. You know what I mean? Right? It helps you to build discipline, focus, and better habits. It's like if you can be disciplined with just this one thing, if you can be disciplined with getting up at 5 a.m., you can transfer that to other areas of your life. You see what I'm saying? Right? It's like, it's a no-brainer. I get up at 5. You could probably imagine, because I'm just like shouting this book out, right? I get up at 5, right? And it's like, because this is just a regular part of my day, right? It allows me to have time to myself before the house is up, right? I can really focus on exercising. I focus on meditating or self-reflecting, but then also there's a focus on getting prepared for my day, right? Now I've started my day with some discipline, right? With a little bit of focus, you see what I'm saying? And my mindset is together to be prepared for the house, for when the house is up, right? Right? I have a little bit more clarity, you know what I mean? Right, so it helps you to build the discipline, the focus, and better habits, right? Key takeaways are your mornings shape your entire day. Facts. Facts. Just like when the people say, oh, you know, I haven't had my coffee yet, don't talk to me. If I don't wake up at 5, I don't know. I don't know how the day gonna go. Now, I'm gonna be honest. The first, I would say probably the first 2 weeks, maybe not even that long, probably the first week and a half, I was like, ooh, this a bit much. Right? This a bit much. But the more that I did it, I had an agreement with myself, right? There's a certain place that I'm trying to get to when it comes to my life, when it comes to success, when it comes to the mindset and things like this, right? So it was a no-brainer for me to get up. I had a reason to get up at 5. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get up at 5 because the book said get up at 5. No, I had a reason. You see what I'm saying? And so after about a week and a half, it's automatic. I could have gotten, now I'm not saying this is good, but just kind of showing you all how it goes. I could have gotten 4 hours of sleep. I'm still up at 5, right? Usually once a week I take a day off just to like catch up on sleep, or just to like, you know, give myself a little bit of self-care and sleep in, right? It's difficult to do. My eyes still open at 5. I have to sometimes make myself go back to sleep if it's one of those days that I'm going to be showing the self-care and sleeping in. You see what I'm saying? Right? And so your mornings shape your entire day, right? And this is a good takeaway. Waking up early is not about, oh my gosh, like you are suffering, like you punishing yourself. Because you know, some people, some of the clients that I work with, that I coach, they're like, Ashley, I can't do that. They're like, what? I would be suffering. No, it's not about suffering. It's about control. You have control over your day. It's one of the areas that you have control over. Because what do we know? There are a lot of things in our lives that we cannot control. But this is one that you can. So it's like, why not gain some control and do it? Now, when you see that, okay, I have control over that, maybe I got control over some other things too. Okay, cool. Let's figure out what those might be. But let's start with getting your day in control of that, right? Okay, the third takeaway is small daily habits create long-term success. Right? Imagine being in control of your day, waking up at 5, the more consistent, just like with anything, the more consistent you are at doing that, right? It's like now I'm creating, this is a habit for me to get up at 5. Now, what other habit do I want to create to pair with it? This is here's a tip, guys. If you want to build habits, you have to pair the new habit with something that you already do. Makes it easier, right? So, for example, for me, I do meditation. I do meditation in the form of affirmations, right? And so, when do I do this? In the shower every morning. It's like I know I'm gonna take a shower in the morning, child. So I might as well do my affirmations while I'm right after. You pair it with something that you already do. Makes it easier for you to do the new thing and to maintain, be consistent with it, right? So this is like a little tip, right? But the book, right, the takeaway is that small daily habits create long-term success. This is a good one, right? Now, again, it is a little, it's not really, it's interesting, but in the beginning, not so much. I'll be honest with saying that. Now, tell me in the chat, are you a morning person or are you a night owl? Put in the chat 5 a.m. if you're a morning person, or a night owl if you feel like you do your best work at night. I thought I was a night owl, but I really don't think so. I need my rest, child. I need my rest. Maybe when I was in my 20s or something like this, staying up all night. But it's like, now at this point, for what? Okay, so this book is so beat up. Okay, the next one, this is number 5. Number 5. Number 5 is Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. Right? This is a really good one too. These books are in no particular order. I just, read all of them, but, they're in no particular order. But why is this book so powerful, right? It helps you to stop overthinking, and it helps you to really detach from negative thoughts, And for a lot of us, negative thoughts live rent-free. It's like, it's automatic. Anytime you think of anything, negative thought about it, right? Which results into a negative mindset. And if you're trying to be successful, if you're trying to have a career pivot, if you're trying to switch jobs, if you're trying to meet any goal that you have, right? It's like negative mindset is not going to help you. The negative thoughts are not going to help you. It's okay that thoughts come, right? But you don't want the thoughts to last. You don't want the thoughts to stay around, right? You've got to get into a space where you are controlling them instead of the thoughts controlling you, right? So this is a good one. Don't believe everything you think, right? The second reason why this book is so powerful is because it really kind of explains and shows you why or how your thoughts are creating your reality. Your reality. Okay? Right? So some of the key takeaways from this book, right? Not every thought you have is true. Oh my God. Not every thought you have is true, right? Your mind creates stress, not outside factors. You see that? Like, really think about that. Your mind, the thoughts you are having create the stress, the feelings of being overwhelmed, the anxiety, the feeling of being down, sadness, right? Your mind creates it, not the outside world. So say, for example, if something that we view bad as happening, right? The book kind of describes it as like these arrows coming at you. Okay, yeah, the first arrow is something bad, something stressful, something anxiety provoking, right? Okay, but the second arrow is how you react or respond to it. The second arrow is where you choose how you're going to respond and react to the stress, to the anxiety, to the feelings of being overwhelmed, right? Right? So again, your mind creates it, not the outside world, right? And peace comes, this is the third takeaway. Peace comes when you stop attaching to every thought. Don't attach to it, right? It's like you just experience anxiety. You experience the feeling of being sad. You experience being overwhelmed. It is not a part of you. You just experience it, right? This is why I caution people when they talk about like anxiety, depression. I often hear clients, you know, they say, I have anxiety or my anxiety. You know, I have depression or my depression. You don't own that. You just experience the symptoms, but you don't own this. It's not a part of you, right? All right. Has anyone ever caught themselves believing a negative thought that wasn't even real? That is something. Really realizing that not every thought you have is the truth. It's like, what is going on up here? You know? Okay, so this is a good one, right? This is, again, don't believe everything you think, right? And it part of the title is why your thinking is the beginning and end of suffering. So yeah, so you might want to pick this one up. Okay, so the last one, but definitely not least, it probably goes with the first one. I would pair these two books together. Especially if you are a person who is starting a business or you aspire to be self-employed. You know, if you are like me, you're a therapist, you want to go into private practice. I would pair The Psychology of Money and Profit First. This one is for therapists, but there's a Profit First, like a first a first version of this book just called Profit First, I believe. But they have different ones for different professions. If you are, this is your first time, you know, you're venturing off to be self-employed, you have your own business, things like this, you need this book, right? It's going to teach you how to manage the income that you have coming in. Right? It's like, yeah, being self-employed is sounds like all rainbows and cherry bombs or whatever they call it. But when all this money is coming in, you have got to know what to do with it. And if you don't know what to do with it, you're going to find yourself in a heap of trouble. Right? Because every year or every quarter for some of us, here come the taxes, baby. And they want their monies. If you've been making the monies, right? This will tell you, I love this book. This is like, for business, I might do one for business too. But a video like this for business. But this is like my baby. Oh my God. It tells you everything that you need to do to manage the money coming in to your business. It's very, if you all can't tell, I'm a very practical person. Hence, this is why my consulting and counseling practice is called Practical Life Strategies. Because I need, yes, I will list all the titles. Yes. I will put all the titles in the description box so you all can have them. But this book really is very practical, and it gives you a step by step, because that's what I like. I don't know about anybody else, you know, I like a step by step, you know. especially if it's like in a subject that I'm, you know, not familiar with, or maybe has been difficult for me in the past or something like this. Give me a little step by step. You know, I'm a list person, so I put my list, you know, make my list of what I need to do first, what I need to do second. You know, I feel like I'm on track, right? Right. Okay, so someone in the chat says much of my anxiety slash stress is from not having enough money. Will that topic be covered in the book Profit First? This one is more so for your business. Like if you are self-employed, or if you are starting a business and you got money coming in, what you probably want to read, Fish Sticks, is the psychology of money. Right? Because this explores your money beliefs and where the fear about not having enough money comes from and what you do with that. You probably want to start with this one. Yep. And then if you are now, not only, I feel like this book, Profit First, let me take that back. Profit First is for if you have your own business, but it can also be transferred just in everyday life, I feel like, in my opinion. Because again, there are practical steps on how to just manage money that's coming in, how to manage your income. So this is, but they have different versions. Like this one is for therapists, and because I'm a therapist, so this is why I have this one. But they have one for real estate agents. I've seen that one. I think they have one for accountants. They have different ones, but I think they also have one it's just called Profit First. And so the idea about this book, right, why it's so powerful, it helps you, this focus on, you know, entrepreneurs, but again, I think it could be personal too, right? It helps you to manage money wisely. And then it also teaches you to build a profitable business from day one. From day one. Right? Because I was one of those people, I'll share, I was one of those people when I started my private practice, I was like, I ain't about to be making a whole bunch of money. Because why? But see, this goes back to beliefs, right? I'm going to share with you all a little bit about my journey. Of course, I was in corporate. I worked in community mental health. I worked in all capacities of mental health, right? But throughout my journey, I had heard stories of people who were in private practice, and the sentiment was always, it's not worth it. You're not going to make any money. You're not going to get any clients. You won't be able to keep clients. It's a hassle working with insurance companies. People don't want to pay out of pocket, all of these things. So as an early professional, this is the mindset or the belief that I had, that, oh, nobody goes into private practice really. And if they do, they always get out of it. Right? But then when I got to the point in corporate where I was like, girl, this ain't for me. I can't have nobody telling me to come to work at 8. And then my responsibilities and my you know, like what came first in my life changed. I had kids, you know, I got married and all of these things. I was like, I need to be at home. I can't be at work thinking about my baby. I gotta go pick my baby up. I can't have my baby, somebody keeping my baby. I need to be keeping my baby. And right? And I got closer and closer to saying, listen, I need to have my own practice. But then I got this outside noise, going back to every thought is not true. Outside noise, outside thoughts from other people and their experiences crept in and said, girl, you can't go into private practice. You ain't finna make no money. You ain't about to have no clients and all this stuff. And things happened in my career that pushed me to have to do it. Right, so maybe in another live, if anyone is interested in that, I'll share my story. But something happened in my career that made me have to go into private practice. And so this book helped me to change my belief about being able to sustain myself in private practice, right? Because my belief was, well, I guess I'm going to just do it, but I ain't going to be making no money. Okay, but then, right, I had to change my mindset too. And, you know, this is what I do for other people. So I had to do it for myself, right? That's not my story. All those people that said that was their story. That's not my story. And thank goodness, right? Because of my mindset, because of whomever is above, right, has not been my story. I'm so grateful, right, and proud of myself that I did take the leap to do it, because it's the best decision that I could have made for my career, right? I don't ever see myself being back in a corporate environment, because I have the tools, the resources to do what I need to do to sustain my business. You know what I mean? Right? So, but this really helped me to do that. Right? So, again, it teaches you to build a profitable business from day one. And this is absolutely from day one. Okay, so some of the key takeaways I think are important in this book. And again, I'm gonna look up to if they have one like for personal, just like everyday profit first, not for like business owners. I think they do. But some of the key takeaways, the first one is you have got to pay yourself first. Right? You can't run a business that barely sustains you. You got to pay yourself first. Right? No matter how much you got coming in. But this is for personal too. You best to make sure you pay yourself first. You see what I'm saying? Right? The second takeaway is you need to separate your income into clear categories. This is one of the big ones, right? It's like you have income coming in, right? But you need different categories when it comes to your business, right? You might have an expense category, you might have a tax category, etc. Whatever is needed, you know, for your business, right? The third takeaway is making more money doesn't solve financial problems. And that's personally too. Even if you don't have a business, if you're working 9 to 5, making more money doesn't solve financial problems. Better money management does, right? It really doesn't matter how much you make. It's what you do with what you make. Right? It's what you do with what comes in. And you know, of course the books tell you this, but me personally, my husband is my baby. That's my accountant right there, baby. Let me tell you something. Anything about numbers, anything about what you need to do with that money, baby, that's your person, okay? So I have my person. He's a numbers person, right? And he is the first person who kind of really made me understand that it doesn't matter what you have coming in, it's what you do with what you have coming in, right? So, and this is one of the key takeaways of that book, right? So yeah, so these are my 6. Right? Okay, let me recap, and I'm gonna put it in the description box too. You all can see I'm excited. This is what I get excited about. And I'm so glad that I had some time today to come on here and share, because this is what this is about. Okay, so the first one was, okay, the psychology of money. Right? Psychology of money. Okay. The second one was drama free. This one is the one that talks about boundaries. Right? The third one was mother hunger. The fourth one, the 5 a.m. club. Let me tell y'all something. Okay, after I do this, I'm okay. And then the fifth one was don't believe everything you think. And then the sixth one, profit first. right? Okay, so tell me which book spoke to you the most. Drop a number in the chat, right? It's like the one that really has the one that continues to help me on my journey, just like in my life in general, is the 5 a.m. club. The 5 a.m. club, and then Profit First. These are the two that continue, is the gift that keeps on giving, okay? Because now I've read this book, but I reference it a lot because there are different, you know, you got to go back and reevaluate your business and the profit and all these things every so often. So I go back, and this is like a reference for me now. And the things that I've learned in this book are just automatic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, once I read it, I was like, boom, down pat, 5 a.m. Boom. I'll tell you, one of the ideas in this book is, of course, you wake up at 5 a.m., right? Since 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. is a power hour, you have to know what you're going to be doing in your power hour, right? So for 20 minutes, you do some type of rigorous exercise. It could be one of those HIIT exercises. It doesn't even really have to be. It could be walking, you know, whatever you choose, you know what I'm saying? And then that's for 20 minutes. Then the next 20 minutes, you do some type of self-reflection. This could be journaling. It could be meditating, things like this, right? And then for the next 20 minutes, you're going to prepare for your day, right? What does your day look like? What tasks do you have to do, right? You might put it in a 1, 2, 3, ABC, right? What are you going to tackle first? You see what I'm saying, right? So you are planning your day so that it goes a little bit smoothly in those last 20 minutes, right? Now you're starting your day with more clarity. You're more focused. And you kind of know, you have a guideline for what's ahead. So this one is a gift that keeps on giving for me, and then Profit First for me. Two gifts. And okay, so if you need help applying these lessons from some of these books in your life, DM me, right? Or get in touch with me. Again, I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I'm licensed in Florida. I'm licensed in South Carolina. And Lord willing, I will be licensed in Georgia soon. And I'm also a career coach, right? So if you are in anywhere other than those places, I can still help you, right? I'm a career coach. I help individuals kind of navigate career pivots, burnout, anxiety in the workplace, right? How to deal with these toxic managers and all this stuff, you know what I mean? How to really navigate if you've been laid off, and all of those things is really rough right now, right? So if you need help applying any of these in your life, right, just let me know, right? I'm going to be live hopefully Wednesday with another topic. So if there's other things that you want me, you know, to address, or that you want to hear, please let me know in the chat so that I can go ahead and prepare that. Or just maybe, usually if I come live, it's kind of like, you know, of course it's impromptu because I don't know what time I will have to go. So I really don't want to kind of plan it, and then I have to, you know, I may not have time to keep that time. So sometimes if I just have time, you know, I'm done with other things and I'll just go live. So, but if there's any other topics that you'd like for me to discuss, just, you know, kind of let me know, right? I hope you all enjoyed this live. You know, I hope this was very helpful. You gained a little bit of insight and also some resources and tools to help you in your own journey, right? Thank you so much for joining. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all on the next one. Bye.